Welcome to Tuttle Talk, a part of the Real Estate Radio Network. And now, live in studio, offering you a fresh perspective. He's your local real estate and finance expert. He's part of the Common Sense Party, and he's committed to teaching you how to win in any market. Your host, Andy Tuttle.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network, where we teach you what the rich and the banks do, not what they tell you to do, and where we dispel the misconceptions of financial wellness and the local real estate market and show you how following a few key principles really can free you up to focus on the other important areas of your life, like your friends, your family, and the community. And that's what's really, really important. I'm your host, Andy Tuttle, NMLS number 184325. And I've been in this game a long time, guys, over 12 years. And I've seen it all, and I've seen so many mistakes and so much tragedy in way of making financial decisions and real estate decisions. And before we get into today's show, tragedy I saw this week. I don't know if you've heard, but you can go check this out. It's made all the papers. There was a shooting in New York, and a band member of another band. There's a band called the Yellow Dogs. They're from Iran, and they made it big several years ago, like in 2009, from a song that they did that was on a soundtrack of No One Knows Persian Cats. And they came over here, and they had made it done well over here, and really cool music. And another person that was also Iranian, that was in another one of their friends' bands. You can get all the details. Just Google New York shooting band. Came over Monday morning, right after midnight, apparently climbed across a few rooftops and got on a third-story landing with a .308 rifle with a scope and shot 3 people that night. The first one he shot through the window was my best friend. And he was a little too young to die. But that's how life goes. And so I almost didn't come and do the show today because it was really tough. And we killed those other brothers. I can't imagine what her mom must be like right now. Tragedy. It happens every day. This just happened to me. This isn't the first time that I've had a close friend die. It's not going to be the last, neither for you. But I started really thinking about why in the heck I do this damn show. And why you listen to any show that you listen to or do what you do and why you should stay tuned in. And I had to think about that a lot before I could muster up the courage and the strength to get out of bed. A lot of funeral calls this week, a lot of tears. You know how it goes with death in the family, right? And friends is you cry, you relive all these emotions, man. You see the family, you hug on them, you love on them, you cry with your friends, you make the phone calls, and then the next person calls. Or the next person comes over and it all starts again. I have no more tears. And I know I'm not alone in that. And I know many of you out there have suffered loss. And so what I want to say to you is that, one, before you do anything today, I beg you to do what Bob O'Dean taught us a couple months ago on this show, which is to text. Just text, call, of course, but text 5 people today, right now, that maybe you've lost touch with, or maybe you talk to all the time, but you never say some simple words, which is, brother, you matter to me, or sister, you matter to me. I appreciate you. I love you. That's all it needs to be. It means so much. And people need to hear that, because let me tell you, there's some friends of mine that wish that they would have said that to Ali in the last couple of months, but they didn't. And you don't want that to be your story. You do not know the day or the hour. You have no control, only illusions of it. So stop living like it. Make amends. Let go of your stupid, petty pride. Lay it down and tell that person, lead out in forgiveness for the 0.001% that's your fault, that you think's your fault. Own it and apologize and watch that heart open up, or your friend or your spouse especially. But guys, you just got to let it go. It's not worth it. It really isn't. And I do this show because I believe it's the calling on my life to steward you into 2 Timothy 7b and 8 says that though fitness basically is of some value. To shorten up, the Greek word is to sweat naked, which is weird, but that's what it is. Hard work is of some value. Godliness is of ultimate value because it holds promise for this life and the life to come. But the point is that there are certain things we can do here that are good stewardship, that teach us things about the greater things. One of those is being a steward of your finances, being a steward of your body, being a steward of relationships. And I do this show because, and I have the people on the show like Gabe Abshire of Utility Concierge, because I can trust him. Because I know, even though he's here to business and he runs a good business and he wants to make money for his family and provide for it, he's also got a heart and he wants to provide a good service to you, and he has your best interest at heart. And it's hard to find that. That's why he's on this show. That's why Matt Aycock's on this show, because I use these guys for my own personal business. He's an estate planner. You need an estate plan. And I know right now, I'm talking to you, you don't have one. You don't have a will or a trust. Why do I know that? Because only 5% of Americans have one. And you don't think it's important, but you sure as hell do, excuse my language, when your 35-year-old son gets shot and you have no idea. When your wife and kid get in a car wreck, which happened to another family like last week, I read a story. That's when you need it. Don't wait. I'm not kidding. Please. That's why they're on the show, because you don't get this stuff in the mainstream media and you need to hear it. The financial team is important, because when the real tragedy in life hits you, this is not what you want to think about. All the calls this week and making funerals and getting a body down from New York and working with the charity and working with the other friends and coordinating everybody to get flights and getting the pictures and the slideshows and tears and all of that stuff. And there is a lot of stuff when pain hits your life. You don't want to be worrying about who's going to get custody of your kids, or how's this going to happen, and who's going to, if a friend gets catatonic, what's going to happen, or a family member gets catatonic. What are all of the questions that are going to get brought up that may cause you strife? You don't want it. So handle it now. That's why I bring these guys to you, because I care. And I've seen a lot of people make a lot of bad decisions thinking that they were the smartest guy in the room. And I am definitely not the smartest guy in the room. In fact, in this room right now, there's a guy like 10 times my brain power, Brian Moore, my show producer. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good, man. Thank you.
Brian helped so much this week. He helped us. We built a little quick website page, basically one page to kind of honor Ali and then, raise money, because people want to get involved and help. And how we do that in this culture is provide food and provide money, right?
Absolutely.
And so there were a lot of people touched by Ali's life. He was a musician, great musician, super creative, made some films, toured the world, actually. Such a talent and such a loss. And we're going to play one at the end of his songs when we go to break, just a little excerpt from one of his songs. But it's like Brian helped me get a website up for us, and also the Yellow Dogs, their own, they got one on their page, and Brian helped talk to the manager's sister or whatever and coordinate all that. And he helped with a slideshow that we had created for the funeral, and just so many things. And so, Brian, thank you, first of all, so much for that.
I'm very glad to help.
Yeah. And so, but it's been a crazy week, and, these are the things that come up in life that just derail you. We're all one phone call away, you know what I mean? And so when you listen to this week, and we try to bring you some stuff, and we've got some cool stuff on the show this week. One, we're going to talk about a mortgage loan program that's making all kinds of waves in news, and it's like the oldest loan program. It's like a 30-year-old loan program, and they're bringing out as a new. We'll tell you what that is and why they think it's brand new and didn't know that it's been around for so long. We're also going to talk to you about the danger of treating your mortgage as a commodity. And I'm going to walk you through the process of homeownership, guys, because it's important. You want to make those smart decisions. You need to understand this stuff, and you need to have people that you can trust. And I have those people here. I've done the work. I've built the relationships. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And I don't care. But I care a lot for you, for my friends and my clients and my partners, and we're good at what we do. We are very good. I've been in the lending business for so long that I could do it in my sleep. But we've got a great team around us that takes care of you, that goes over, above, and beyond, because we love it. It's so much fun for us to provide you a housewarming dinner. It's so much fun for us to connect with all these people to give these cool free services and make you smile and have a non-event. It's the biggest deal in your life, biggest transaction in your life. Oh, it's so great. We want to do that for you. And so if you have questions, estate planning, financial advisor, CPA, you need landscaping, for goodness sakes, or of course if you have mortgage or real estate questions, please call us, 469-319-0660, 319-0660, and I'll connect you to the professional that's right for you because I care and I want to do it. And I'm wasting my time. I have a new baby boy, and my best friend just died. I'm not here to mess around. We want to help. I want to help. And this show and getting educated up front will help. Also, you can text that same number, 469-319-0660, and just text whatever information you want. We've got little cool text codes we'll give you later in the show to reach out, but you can always just ask a question there, and we'll connect you. And you can find out everything at andytuttle.com as well. You can also find us on all the social media stuff by just searching Tuttle Talk, and you can get us there. We're also going to get into our Restaurant of the Week this week. By the way, we'll have a nice real-time real estate segment, and we've got a couple special guests coming up. This is cool stuff. This is not real estate or finance, but, man, talking about in this little protect you, I got a new kid. Oh, my God, I would not want to lose it. This guy, he didn't want to lose kids either. 2,000 kids get lost every day, apparently. And WIllie Woo and his daughter Bethany are going to be here today talking about his new technology, the buddy tag, my buddy tag. We're going to show you how that works, and it'll be flying off the shelves. You will want that, and we're also going to talk with Rik Heller. He's like basically, what is he? He's not a health nut, but he is a health and wellness guru type.
Yeah, exactly. This guy knows, let's just say, microbiology as far as the germs that happen, how to protect yourself against them. Yeah, it's cold and flu season coming up.
Yeah, so he's got a way to protect you against all of this stuff. And, of course, there's an app for that. Now there's an app for cold and flu season.
Yeah.
Dan, our production director, now has a smartphone. Welcome to the 90s, Dan. You can use this stuff. So that's our extended More Cool Tech segment. We're going to have some special guests to talk to you about that. And we will have all of that in more right here on Tuttle Talk after this break.
Mystery eyes have long forgotten that it was. I didn't know what to do with it
Welcome back. You are listening to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network every Sunday, 3 p.m. here on 660 a.m. The Answer. Thank you for staying with us. So I told you before the break that we were going to discuss this brand new mortgage program, 5% down with 2% coming from a gift you can get, like it's brand new and never happened before. So this program... So Brian brought this to my attention. He was like, what's this new program, 5% down deal? Brian, why don't you walk us through how this came about?
Well, every week I do a little research for the show, kind of figure out what's going on in the mortgage real estate world as far as, what's being covered in the news. And I came across this article on the CNN website. And it was talking about how Bank of America, Wells Fargo are now doing these new programs with 5% down. And I was like, okay, let me check with Andy and some of the other mortgage coaches there at the office. So I went and walked over to Stephen Brady's office. He's one of our top mortgage coaches there. Great guy, very knowledgeable. And I asked him about this article. He said, well, that's weird. Send me the article. I want to take a look. So I send him the link, and he takes a look, sends me an email back. He says, I feel like this article was written in like 1993 instead of 2013. There's nothing earth-shattering here at all.
Yes, this loan program has been around since I've been in the business, even through the financial crisis. Now, it's true that some things tightened up, and you had to have just really perfect credit, and there was a short window where it went up to 10% down. But this whole time, still, mortgage insurance companies have been around even through the financial crisis. It's been a little harder to come by, and until recently, the article said something about you were forced to do an FHA loan. Well, you got to remember that until this last year, actually, FHA was better than conventional. I mean, my gosh, the rates were 0.25% better than conventional. So even though you were going to have mortgage insurance either way you went, conventional or FHA, if you had to put, if you didn't put 20% down, so why not put 3% down or 3.5% down? Do FHA, have a very minimum financed in mortgage insurance and a monthly one, and you were good to go. Now that's changed in the last 6 months, and the monthly mortgage insurance is much higher. The rate is higher on it, so the payments basically doubled on that. So on a $150,000 home, if you were paying $80 in mortgage insurance with FHA, you may be paying somewhere around $130, $250 or something like that. And so you have to look at that. But But back in the day, even a couple of years ago, it was great. It was the best way to go. So this article cracks us up. So don't think that's new, folks. If you want to think it's new and it helps you go buy, great, whatever it takes. But this has been around for like 30 years.
Okay. So let me ask you, Andy, thinking about the mortgage insurance or what you guys in the industry call the PMI, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So I read an article earlier in the week talking about FHA may not be worth it because of PMI. And I stress the word may not be worth it. What would your opinion on that be?
Well, it's definitely worth it if you don't have perfect credit or if you can't qualify for a conventional loan. So in other words, if you were going to go the conventional route, which is just basically the banks that would say you fit into a bucket where you have at least a 680 score, but really you want a 720. And maybe if you're going to put 5% down, you definitely need to have that to have the greatest mortgage insurance on that side and the lowest terms. If you don't have perfect credit, then or really good credit, FHA is still a great option. It is more expensive though. But whereas back in the day, even a few years ago, sometimes even for your A paper, if that term's not too jargony, it means the highest quality paper, the best client. Sometimes you take them to FHA because it ended up being a better deal for them. Now that's not the case. So for that person to do an FHA loan, it's not as good of an idea. If you've got great credit, unless you just really are strapped for cash and want to do a 3.5% down deal, it's pretty much always going to be a better way for you to do 5% down and get mortgage insurance.
So better to come up with a little more money up front than over the life of the loan pay a lot more.
Right. Well, because the deal is both have mortgage insurance now. Conventional has their private mortgage insurance, and that's through other private third-party companies. And then FHA has MIP. It's the same thing, same in principle. It's mortgage insurance. That's all you need to know.
Sure. Insurance
that insures the lender. But now FHA has it where that goes through the life of the loan no matter what. You got to pay that mortgage insurance even if you pay 30% down over the life of the loan. And you can refinance later, but otherwise you're going to have mortgage insurance. With conventional, as soon as you get 20% equity in that property, you can call your lender, your servicer, and get that mortgage insurance taken off. By the way, that's a real quick way to save money, guys. You don't have to refinance. If you've been in your house a while and equities come back up and you're still paying mortgage insurance and you're on a conventional loan, call me, of course. We'll direct you and help you answer that. You can call us 469-319-0660. I can walk you through how to do this, but it really is just calling your servicer up and going through a process to get them to take off that mortgage insurance. And you may save $70 to $150 up a month without even having to refi. So that's something to look into. Did that answer your question, Brian?
It did. Thank you very much.
So, guys, you're listening to the Tuttle Talk here on 660 AM The Answer, the Real Estate Radio Network. I want to walk you through very quickly the home loan process, and we're going to get to the real-time real estate segment. So just a quick, because I get a lot of questions. People are like, well, man, I don't know how you get started, or they go find a home first, and they're really excited. And I found this home I want to make an offer. Well, great. Do you have a pre-approval? Well, no. Or I had one. Yeah, I did something online, and I got a pre-approval for somebody. Well, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're actually not supposed to be able to do that, but the pre-approvals that people get these days crack me up. If you haven't submitted in your documentation, your support income and asset documentation, so if you're a W-2 employee, the last couple of years is a W-2s. If you're self-employed or get a lot of bonus, over 25% of your income is in bonus or commission, your tax returns. If you haven't submitted that, last couple months bank statements, any kind of weird stuff, if you own multiple properties, that information. If you haven't submitted your basic support income and asset documentation, and if you have divorce, those kind of things, bankruptcy, et cetera, that documentation to a lender to get a pre-approval, that pre-approval doesn't mean anything. It's just something on a piece of paper that somebody wanted to get a deal.
Is that the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approval?
Correct. Exactly. Even nowadays, they call it pre-approval, and there's just some asterisks within the body of the, it's called a conditional qualification, is what they really call it. And so up front. And so we just use the terms pre-approval versus pre-qual, but you're correct. But pre-approval is really, I've looked at all the information. You have to check those boxes off. I've seen the income and asset documentation. I've looked at their credit report. All of those things have to be taken into account. And then they've signed a 1003 or the application document there. And so right now, man, sellers, people lost homes. People were losing homes because they thought they had a pre-approval, but they were like, I can't get any homes. People to agree to buy a house from me or whatever, or they won't take my offer. Well, it's because they're looking at the other offers and they say that they have received those things, and your offer says that nobody's seen that stuff. So like, this doesn't mean anything. They get it. You should get it. Don't do that. You need to get a real solid pre-approval up front. That's the first step. And honestly, you should totally do that before you find a home, because here's what most people find: when you take that, if you do it up front, right, and you talk to the financing person up front. A lot of times you may have a 719 score. Well, there are a couple things you can do for very inexpensive to get to a 720, and that could improve depending on all the factors of your loan, an eighth to a 1/4% in rate. Well, that just increased your buying power 10 to 15 grand. That could be a difference in a neighborhood. But you don't have the time to do that if you found the house. Like, I want to make an offer. I got to close in a month. Well, whoa. Now we can't. You know what I mean? Now, either on the house that you're buying, your payment's too high and you should be saving that money and put it in savings. Or, hey, you're in good shape. The debt to income ratio is in line, et cetera, but now you can qualify for more home. You got to give yourself that chance, guys. So the first step is call and get a pre-approval and talk with a professional. And we don't have time right now to go into this because I want to get some of our guests. But if you text 4 questions, the words 4 questions to Brian, we will get you my Shopping Around article. It tells you the 4 questions you should ask every lender. And if they don't know the right answers to these questions, and I give you the right ones in the article. If they don't know those, run. Do not walk, run to a lender that does. I got to tell you, the first one is that what do you think interest rates are based on? What do you think they're based on? Most people say, what do you say usually? Treasuries. Most people say treasuries.
Oh, I would just say a general term like the market.
Right. And people say that too.
Sure.
So they're based specifically on mortgage-backed securities.
Okay.
And so like looking at treasuries to see what rates are doing, it's kind of like looking at the Dow to see what Apple is doing. You can get an idea, but to really look what Apple's doing, you got to look what Apple's doing. You know, right? See what that stock's doing. Same thing with rates. Most people don't get that right. If they don't know that and they don't have live, they can't see the live bond market, what's going on, and they don't know what's happening next that may move the market, you can't work with that guy because you got to know lock strategy. It's not about who has a lock, the rate on the best day. It's about one, who's got the best strategy to know when to lock, and then, hey, what's the best financial goals for you based on your financial goals and plans for the home? What's the best loan program? What's the best strategy around that? So there's a lot of things that go into it. I go into it in the article. Text 4 questions to 469-319-0660, and we will get that to you immediately. Coming up, we're going to get into our real-time real estate segment, and we're going to talk with Willie Woo and his daughter Bethany about this awesome technology where you never have to worry about losing your kids again. All that next. Welcome back. You're listening to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, you can reach out to us on our off-air hotline. It's a heartline. It's also a hotline, 469-319-0660. You can do that during or after the show. You can also text us to that number, any question that you have, and we'll get right back with you, 469-319-0660. Now time for our real-time real estate segment. We have Chris Oleg of the Oleg Group over at Halo Group Realty. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Andy. Thanks again for having me.
Hey, always a pleasure, buddy. This time, though, you're not going to go off on a tangent. I know you're passionate about what you do, and I know you love blogging, and typically writers aren't in love with brevity, but today you will be.
All right.
So what is happening in the market right now, man? What's the pulse out there?
Same thing that's kind of been going on. We've seen inventory levels still on the decline. As we're going into the winter months, obviously it's going to get worse and worse. Less people are willing to move. However, there's a lot of people still moving here. Companies don't really care about kids in school. You know, if they need employees out here, they're going to move them here. So we still have a lot of buyers in the market. We just have less inventory. So for the people that are thinking about moving up, now is a good time because the buyers out there are serious. They're not just tire kickers. So you put your house on the market. There's a lot of competition for your home. And if you go to move up, obviously you have to buy another house. Even though the inventory is a little bit low, the sellers are also serious as well because they're not just selling just to sell. A lot of people that are selling right now in the winter months going into holidays need to be somewhere else, whether it's for job, whatever the relocation reasons are. So sellers are serious. You can get a better deal on a house if you need to move up to situations like that.
Chris,
and then
are there any specific submarkets or cities inside of DFW that are particularly hot right now?
All of Dallas. Plano is probably one of the best markets right now. Actually, like Plano, Frisco, the whole North Dallas region, because we have a lot of headquarters here. There's a lot of growth, a ton of growth going on with Nebraska Furniture Mart coming in, obviously. Dallas Cowboys moving their facility in Frisco. there's a lot of new home construction and just a lot of growth to the McKinney, Frisco, Plano area.
Guys, if you want to get on top of that, you want to find out, find the value of your home, see if it's worth selling, or you want to get into the process of buying a new home and really do want to see what's out there and have Chris show you the ropes on that and put his money where his mouth is, all you have to do is text the word value to 469-319-0660, 469-319-0660, and we will get you a free analysis of your home's value, and we will also, as needed, we'll contact you and get your questions on if you wanted to buy or not and where you wanted to go, and we'll get you set up and on the road to home ownership. Because I've told you before, I've been telling you every week that the regulations are changing coming first quarter of next year, a lot of them in January, that are going to tighten up some restrictions. And so this is a great time it's the perfect storm of low rates, low inventory, a lot of movement going on in the market right now that you can get a fantastic deal on the home and be walking into an equity situation. So this is a great time to buy or sell and make that move. Do that. Text us 469-319-0660, and we will take care of you. Chris, as always, thank you for your expertise and leadership in the community, bro.
Hey, thank you, Andy.
Hey, man, have a good week.
Hey, you too.
All right, now here on Tuttle Talk, so excited because I have a new baby boy. He's 3 weeks old, and we know one of my worst nightmares, and every parent's worst nightmare. There's like 5. I have a lot of worst nightmares about my kids. Let's be honest. Oh my God, I don't want to leave me in the room. He stopped making a sound, and then he's like, "Please make a sound. I just got you quiet, and now you're too quiet. Are you alive?" And then he makes a noise. Well, that's one of the problems. But another one is losing your child. And apparently I found out there's like 2,000 kids that go missing or get lost every single day. So with us today is the man who's created a solution to that problem, WIllie Woo, and his daughter, Bethany. Bethany, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I'm so interested in this product. And I tell you, my wife's listening right now, and I told her she got to listen. So I know she's going to be like probably buying this or whatever whenever we're done with the show. But what is this product exactly? It's called Buddy Tag, by the way. What exactly is this product?
Okay, simply put, Buddy Tag is a child safety device that alerts you if one of your children gets too far away from you. So you will sound an alarm, pop up a message, and vibrate your phone to let you know, hey, your child is too far away. Get him or get her back before you lose him. And it's meant to help you maintain a proper supervision of your kid and try to keep them near you.
So there is an app for that. That joke's been going on for so many years. Like now there's an app for that too. So WIllie, how did this prompt you? What prompted you to make this product?
Yeah, it actually happened with Bethany last year. We went to Six Flags over Texas and was closing hours at the park, and we lost her. My wife thought I had her, and I thought my wife had her, and no one had her.
Oh, man.
So it was traumatic. I went home, I did some research, and I found out 27% of families that visited theme parks actually had the same experience as I did, losing their kid at a theme park. 1 out of 3.
That is tragic. And I actually used to work, hey, Bethany, I used to actually work at Six Flags over Texas. Did you know that? I used to fall off of those buildings. I did. I was a high faller. You can't believe that, can you?
No.
How did you, Bethany, how did you feel when you got lost? How was that?
I felt really scared.
Yeah. How long were you lost? Do you remember?
No.
Oh, my goodness. How did you finally find her?
Well, luckily, she was pretty smart, and she stayed where she was. So one thing that you want to teach your kid is when you get lost, stay where you are and don't wander around trying to look for mommy and daddy, because when they panic, they will start running to look for you.
Yes.
So you teach them to stay where they are. And with the Buddy Tag, we actually have a vital ID information you can write on the insert.
So let me explain what this looks like. It looks like a wristband.
Right.
Okay, so a wristband, it goes around the child's wrist.
Right.
Okay, and then in there is there's some ID that you pull out of the wristband that you can find out the information about the child.
Exactly. It's phone number, allergy, medication information. And so if a kid ever get lost, you tell them to stay there. And if you see any police officer or security guard or a store manager with a name tag on it, ask them to call the phone number on the tag. Yeah. But the most important thing is that with buddy tag, that we hope that you don't have to get into that situation, because buddy tag will alert you before your kid gets separated from you.
Oh, that's so good. So how does it work? In other words, you said the wristband? So you set it in your phone. You download the app.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
How does that process work? Do you pay for the app and you get the wristband, or do you pay for the wristband and get the app for free? How does that work?
Yeah, the app is free to download from iTunes Store.
Okay.
And basically the tag itself is a Bluetooth tag. It talks to your phone via Bluetooth, and the tag goes inside the wristband. And our app will detect how far away via Bluetooth, how far away your kid is from you using the Bluetooth signal. And if it gets too far, it sounds the alarm.
That's huge. Now, Sarah with Real News PR is here today as well. You're a mother.
Yes, I am.
And so when you hear this, when you hear a story like this or a tool like this, does this excite you?
It really does. I mean, this is the peace of mind that every parent really needs. I'm so excited about the buddy tag.
How old are your kids?
Caleb is 3 years old.
Okay, so now, when you're 3 years old, Bethany, how old are you?
7.
Oh, my goodness. You are quite a beautiful young lady.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on our show. So, Sarah, Caleb is 3 years old. I guess you're moving at 3. He can still run. I got a 3-week-old. He's not doing anything at all. He wiggles.
Oh, my hands are so full with Caleb.
Okay. So this is great for when the kids are on the move. What about like a child like mine? He's not doing anything right now.
Right. I mean, in Texas, you hear the tragic story every summer. Some baby or infant got left in a hot car,
right,
and the parents forgot about him or her because they were just absent-minded somehow, or just because they were busy.
Baby brain. You got baby brain. You're going crazy.
Yeah. So you can actually put this on your baby's ankle.
Okay.
And when you get in the car, you activate it, connect to your app. And when you get out of the car and you forgot about your baby in the car, the app will sound the alarm when you get too far away from the car.
So that's perfect.
And you go back and get your baby out.
That's a great deal. Now, there's one other feature on this that I find very exciting, and actually the child controls this. Right. So the other ones are kind of automatic. But tell me about the feature that like a child like Bethany would control.
Right. It's called the panic button. And the panic button is great for example, Bethany goes to a restaurant by herself when I take her to go shopping. And if there's any panicking situation or urgency, she can press the panic button to let me know that she needs help. And I can take action right away to get her out of trouble.
Bethany, do you mess with your dad on that? Do you just push that sometimes when you want him to give you a cup of water or a glass of milk?
No.
You should do that at the house one time and just tell him Andy Tuttle told you to do that.
Don't listen to him.
Don't do it in public, though. Just at home. Just at home. But only once. Don't abuse that. That is a great tool. Guys, the tag is, or the solution to losing your kids is called Buddy Tag. And you can find it at mybuddytag.com, or you can go to the site that you already know. You can go on Facebook, Tuttle Talk. You can also go on andytuttle.com. We will have his site and links and information about the product listed there. This is a no-brainer. Don't think about it. Just do it. How much is it?
It's $35.
Okay, $35. Is it available now?
Yes, it's available now. Yeah, we're shipping.
It's that easy. That's a great Christmas gift to yourself, honestly. Thank you, Willie, so much for being here today.
Thank you, Andy.
And thank you, Bethany. Don't get lost again, okay? Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Coming up, we will get with another... We've got some good people on the show today. I'm very excited about this. We have a gentleman that... He's basically, he knows everything about microbiology, and he's going to keep you out of trouble this cold and flu season, so stay with us. And we're back. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Tuttle Talk, 660 AM The Answer on the Real Estate Radio Network. Remember, you can call us on our off-air hotline, 469-319-0660. 469-319-0660. We've got a lot of stuff for you to text about and call about, too, today. We've got great stuff going on in the market for you to buy a home. We've got the interesting, the 3 Ps of a powerful purchase. Just text purchase to that number and you'll get that. We have... value.
The 4 questions.
The value deal to get to get a free assessment of the value of your home. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the 4 questions.
The 4 questions. I mean, you got a lot of reasons to reach out today. And then we got the Buddy Tag deal, which basically, if you ever have lost your kid or been afraid of losing your kid, or think you just may have a high propensity to lose your kid in the future, this is a tag for you. It's $35. That's a no-brainer. Put it on your kid. They can have a panic alarm. If they get too far away, it zings you, so you don't have to worry about that. I love that. And now... I didn't know how we were going to follow that up, but we are going to follow that up in a powerful way. So it's cold and flu season, and I haven't got my flu shot yet. Please don't tell my wife, because we have a 3-week-old baby, and I forgot to do it. But I'm fine. I'm not going to get sick, but I am going to go get that. But sometimes you don't go get that, and you think people are sick around you, and there's a major problem with that, and that can get you sick, and it's a very spreadable season. Well, we have with us today the man who has created a solution to this problem, Rik Heller. Now, this guy has taken 2 companies public. He is the CEO of FreshLoc Technologies and also WIllie Watch app developer. Now, this is what's so cool. This new technology that he's going to talk about here is going to blow your mind and may save you from having a flu or getting some kind of sickness this flu season. Rik, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so tell me first of all a little bit about FreshLoc Technologies, because you said that this company's been around for 14 years. What is FreshLoc?
We built a company that monitors the conditions in hospitals. We call it environmental monitoring. By and large, it is temperature, humidity, it can be carbon dioxide, differential pressure for quarantine. This also is used in schools. It's also used in the food chain, particularly we call the cold chain. And this is a safety type product. In monitoring this, it's minute by minute, and it can tell you if something is out of bounds.
So outside of some kind of a standard deviation. So how does it do that exactly? How do you interface with this? Well, what is it?
Okay.
And what is it, and how do you interface with it?
It's a wireless temperature monitor size of a small matchbook.
Okay.
And so you would put it in a refrigerator, a freezer, a cryogenic stem cell freezer, and it will maintain the information going to the internet, to our cloud, the freshloc.net cloud, and tell you what the temperature is. It maintains the log at all times. We measure about 12 million measurements per day all throughout the United States.
Wow. So all kinds of things. So you say you use this in hospitals. So everything from temperature of, I guess, rooms, you said refrigerators, all appliances, everywhere to make sure that they're where they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Half of the hospitals in Dallas have this all throughout their facilities.
So what is it? Does it ping you or something as well if like it's not at the right level? It just dings whoever it needs to that has the other piece of that?
It can go many different ways, and if the person doesn't answer the ping, it goes to another person. So there's a whole level of, it's almost industrial alerting is what it is.
So did you say something, or was I talking to you or Brian here? I can walk up to this thing and it can tell me what my temperature is?
And so we have another product we call WIllie.
Right.
And we even have incorporated the company, though it's part of FreshLoc, and it's called WIllie Inc. And that is a product in which you actually just walk up to what looks like a tablet or maybe a mirror, and it reflects your image in a sense, and it tells you exactly what your core temperature is. You don't touch it. You're within 12 inches, and it's a very accurate measurement.
So if I thought Brian was sick and he was trying to get me sick like he does so maliciously,
once in a while,
I could take this product and I could get it between us a little bit and check his temperature.
Absolutely.
And tell him he needs to leave the room.
Absolutely.
Can I do that right now?
You can do it right now.
Hey.
Do you have this up right now?
No, I don't have the orbital, but it's a small little round
man, I
device.
want to check my own temperature right now.
It looks just like
Looks like a tablet.
Just like a tablet, and it has a little round ball on the top, and the ball just looks at your face, basically moves back and forth over your face in about a second or two.
So now, is this available right now to the public?
This is available right now for hospitals and healthcare.
So gotcha. So that's who's buying this. Hospitals are buying this, and people are going in and using this, and that's what they're using as the WIllie Inc. product.
They will. The importance of it is to keep people, it's to deter, and by detection, people who are fevered, which is you can be assured is what is getting you sick. If you pass something on, you're likely coming to work sick. 80% of all Americans will work sick.
So, Rik, when you say that, though, this is for hospitals, and pardon my stupidity on this and ignorance on it, but I guess I'm trying to figure out, are you saying I can get this in my home or no?
You can get this in your home. You can get this in your office.
Okay. So that means I could have, if an employee feels that they're sick, and I think they're lying, I can have them go up to this. I'm kidding.
Evil.
But seriously, you put that in your office so you can check and either send people home or measure that, right, so that they don't go to work sick and get everybody else sick.
That's right, and we do that.
Oh, that's really good. So,
And if I might interject
go
here
ahead.
real quick, I think one of the biggest problems is the what they call nosocomial infections, or the hospital-acquired infections. Am I correct on that, Rick?
You are correct. And one thing that's interesting about all this is the hospital-acquired infections has a companion called the community-acquired infections, which is a fancy name for how we get sick out in this world. We go around sick. And we go to the drugstore and we go to work and we get another sickness because for some reason, when you are sick, you are extra susceptible to the next sickness.
Yeah.
So when you go to the ER and you ask a doctor what's the most likely form of contagious disease, they say usually 2. They walk in 2s. So we have to be very careful about that. And so we want to keep people out. We want to get them to heal themselves, take the 2 or 3 days that their body's telling them, take care of the fever, take care of yourself, hunker down, and break it.
and this does that by just keeping them acutely aware of what their temperature is.
And yeah, keeps them away from work where there could be 2 people who walk in and they both basically swap germs.
Yeah, right. So they just kind of keep this is that preventative measure or the red flag. If you walk into the office and you go by this like, hey, buddy, you're sick, get out of here. Or you're about to leave the house and you're like, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't leave the house after all. Because you're trying to be the tough guy and you got a 100-degree fever and it's like, no, man, go back to the bed. You need to get better.
Exactly. We're heroes when it comes to work, right?
Yes.
And so,
Too much.
sickness is not something that we want to get us to stop us. And so therefore we're going to go. And we have to think about, well, I might spread a little, but I can't really because I'm going to take some elixirs. And then lo and behold, other people get sick not the next day, but 2 or 3 days later. Can't connect it. So
Can't connect it. You can now with this product. If you want to find out more about it, or you want to purchase it, all at WIlloInc.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And it's like hello with a W, WIlloInc.com. Go there now. You can also get this on our site at AndyTuttle.com or on Facebook at Tuttle Talk. We'll have the links posted there as well, so you can get a hold of this, find out more about this product, and prevent you or your family from going into work, or how I'll use it just to double-check my employees like Brian and make sure that he doesn't get me sick because I'm selfish like that. So that is what I would use it for, but you use it for whatever you want. Rik Heller, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this hour. That's it for Tuttle Talk today. Don't forget, you can text us or call us on our off-air hotline, 469-319-0660. You can get this show or all shows in their entirety, as well as a host of other educational material at AndyTuttle.com. Find us on Facebook at Tuttle Talk. I'd like to thank Brian Moore, my show producer. I'd like to thank Sherry Garcia and Sarah from Real News PR for joining us today and helping us with these great guests we have. I'd like to thank my special guests, WIllie Woo, his daughter Bethany with Buddy Tags, and of course Rik Heller with Wello Inc. Thank you so much all for being with us today. And I'd also like to thank production director Dan Bradford and the entire family here at 660 AM The Answer. That's it for today. Tune in next weekend. And until then, thank you so much for listening to Tuttle Talk, where we're making financial intelligence a priority in the community. Have a great weekend.
You've been listening to Tuttle Talk on 660 AM The Answer. You can reach Andy at 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696. Or email him questions@andytuttle.com. Don't forget to become a fan of his show by going to facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. You can also catch previous shows by going to andytuttle.com.